Good morning. My name is Lisa Schmid, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Welcome to Saturday in the studio. It is Saturday, right?
Yep.
Yesterday, all day, we were like, oh, it feels like a Saturday. I don't know why, but it did. Anyway, today I want to show you something that I hope grows in our garden, and that is some coneflowers. They are just such a fun flower. We used to have a whole bunch, and then I don't know what happened. We had brown bees, and then they disappeared. So anyway, I'm going to show you a bundle called Coneflower Celebration, and it is fantastic. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started. So, Coneflower Celebration can be found on page 82. It's right here in our
annual catalog.
Yep, in the new catalog. And the cool thing about it, there's several cool things, which I'll show you, but have I made anything with this before online? Can't remember.
Hey, Tina. Hey, Mary Jo. Yes, you made one thing.
One thing. Okay. So you just to review then. Anyway, it's got some really cool stamps and the dies. And this one in particular, I think is a really fun die, the one that folds in half. So just so you know, it's on page 82. And
hi, Cheryl.
Let me just show you a couple things. So you can just stamp with it. How fun is that? Just pure stamping. Still works great with
hey Mary,
the Coneflower Celebrations, and I stamped a couple of the little dots that come with it down here, and I was like, oh, that kind of looks like dirt. That works. You can also die cut the whole thing. So see how I feel like I'm crooked here. Die cut the whole thing there. Also, there's a die for the coneflower. So this die is just a die, and then this one is I guess it's a die
sort
also.
of a special folder.
Let me just show you. That's probably easier than trying to explain that. So you can stamp it, and if you stamp the coneflower, you can die cut it out of this. This coordinates with the stamp.
Hey Terry.
And then, or you can stamp this and fold it in half, and that's kind of cool too. I'm going to do something similar. I'm going to do something with the die today, or you can just die cut it out. And these two are not perfectly coordinated. So actually you can layer these, which is kind of fun. Lots of fun dies in here. So let's go ahead and get started with our card. I am starting with Petal Pink, which is this right here. And I am going to go ahead and just our standard size. And then I'm going to go ahead and I folded it back. I didn't score that line. I find that you don't really need to score this if you're lining it up. Sometimes I score just to make it maybe sharper, but you can just make a nice line without having to score it. Okay, so there's our Petal Pink as our base. I'm using postage stamp dies, and this is going to sit right here. Okay, so this is the piece we're going to work with, and that's where it's going to sit, so you can
morning, Joanne.
Know that's coming. All right, so I'm going to stamp on this. The other stamp we're using is called Elements of Text. How fun, just these words behind the sunflower. It's just kind of a nice background. So I was thinking I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to do several of them. So we'll grab this one. The other one is the circle's pretty big. We could do that one. I think I'm going to do the square. That's what I was thinking. So our rectangle. All right, and this one, this is a clear mount, which means it's made out of rubber. You can tell I have not used this one yet. I used the circle. So let's go ahead and put that together by peeling off the label like that. And then I'll peel this off. And then we will put that together just like this. Kind of like to try to line that up. There we go. And then we just peel it off, and we've got our label there. Quite nice. Okay, so the great thing about this is, I guess it probably says something actually, but it's kind of scripty, so you don't really notice. It doesn't detract from what you're stamping, because don't really know what it says. All right. I'm going to stamp that in the Petal Pink, and I'm going to stamp it on just a little piece of paper first and see. I always like to kind of check and see how dark it is, because if it's too dark, I don't want that, but I don't think so. Let's see though. That's a little dark. Let's see if I stamp off. Oh, that's a little bit better. Great. So I will stamp off. Grab a little piece of paper here. Whoa, piece of paper here. I'm going to stamp and stamp off. I think that'll be better. And then I just want to see, because I think I want to try to cover the whole or most of the thing. So stamp off, stamp on. Looking, is it right side up? Yes, it is. Stamp off, stamp on. Perfect. Totally fine. Stamp off, stamp on. If it overlaps is fine. But what a nice background this is making. There we go. And I am going to grab this little piece up here. One sentence. There we go. What a nice background. It's subtle. Like I said, you can't really read it, so that's good. I feel like it doesn't detract from it. All right. So then on here, we're going to stamp part of our sunflower, and we're going to use a die for some of it. So I previously die cut out. This is in Calypso Coral. This is in the Petal Pink, and this one is in Melon Mambo. And I think my idea was if you offset them a little bit, might be able to see all the colors, or we might pull some petals. I haven't totally decided, but I think that 3 colors could look really pretty together. All right, let's go ahead and stamp the stem first. I'm going to bend it because it is photopolymer, so I can bend that. And I'm going to use Granny Apple Green, pretty bright color. One of my favorites, by the way. And I want my flower to go. I'm going to have my flower sit about here. So we're going to have this go bend this. Why does it keep falling off? We're going to have this bend this way. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and get that. Bend kind of like that. There we go. And then we'll add a couple leaves. Now, the leaves are 2 different sizes or 2 different shapes, I should say. So I'm going to do one on one side like this, right where, so you saw, you might have seen right there, I sort of missed the stem. That's okay. That's where I'm going to pop the leaf like that. And then, wow, that came out a lot darker than the other, which is just fine. I'm going to pop this one down here. All Granny Apple. Pretty. Okay. And then let's go ahead and figure out our flower. So I just think this will look so pretty if we offset it like that. What do you think, Dave? Offset or cut?
I didn't see my options.
Oh, that's okay. I'll just do it. Because I think I'll just offset it. If I cut, I'm afraid if I cut it, it might not. What if it doesn't work? Because I didn't try that ahead of time. I just, so let's go ahead and grab some adhesive here. And I'm going to offset this. Just like this. See if we can get all that color to show through. There we go. And one more on top. I just thought kind of all the colors would look really pretty showing through there. Yeah, I like that. And then since the top, the cone of the coneflower, I put on some dimensional sheet and then die cut it out. So this has some thickness to it. So therefore, I need to just cut some of my flower or top, because obviously it's going to be too big because I offset it. So let's just trim that. How are you guys this morning? How's our Saturday going so far?
Hey, Patty.
What's going on with people? What are you doing today? Our grandkids are here. They just left with their dad to go to Shady Oak Beach. First day it's open. So fun. Stick that right there. Yep, that'll cover that whole thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and stick this on. Whoop. Just really pretty. I think it adds some nice color. And because it's a dimensional sheet, it has adhesive on the back, which is just perfect. There we go. Isn't that pretty? I think it's really pretty. I think it's so fun. Let's grab our card back, which I tossed aside right here. Let's get rid of this. All right, so the card will sit like this. And I thought when you open it inside, I'm going to go ahead and stamp a butterfly. So let's go ahead and stick this on first. What do you guys think? Coneflower. It would be cool to emboss the flower. Yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome. That's a great idea, to emboss it and then die cut it.
Yep, that would give it really a fun texture.
I love that. And then I'm just going to stamp a little butterfly, which goes this way, inside. I'm going to stamp off one time. I want it under. I'm going to stamp it right there. It could go up here. We could have more than one butterfly. Like that. That would be very cool. That would be so fun. Cambridge Craft Show. Kettle corn. I love kettle corn. All right. So what I had been thinking before, like if you cut some, that would be fun. But isn't that pretty? I think that's really, really pretty. I'm like sweating. I don't know why. It's cold in the basement. All right. Dave has something for us here.
Just talk for just another second.
Okay. So yeah, I saw something that you can color it with a blending brush, or this is where I was wondering if I cut it, but I think I'm going to leave it just like that. I think it's really pretty, and maybe fluff those up a little bit. There we go. Just give it a little poof. Yeah. Isn't that fun? Okay.
Here we go.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. So this week is a very, very, very special event happening this week. Thursday and Friday is our annual garage sale. For those of you who have not been here before, the annual Stamper Studio garage sale is amazing. There is so much stuff there and so many great deals. So mark your calendars. Come for on Thursday. I will say Thursday morning, first thing, there are people waiting before we open the doors. So it's a good idea to come Thursday, although we do usually find some more stuff to add on Friday as well. Also, for you as our special Stamper Studio family, if you want to sell things in the garage sale, you can drop them off here at the studio, priced with your name on them, by Wednesday night. Really, Tuesday would be even better, but by Wednesday night, then what we will do is we will sell stuff for you, and then you will get that as credit to buy new things. So what a great chance to clean out maybe some things that you have finished with, and open up your space for more things, more amazing Stampin' Up! Products. So annual Stampin' Up! Garage sale this Thursday and Friday. You will not want to miss it.
All right, great. What I was trying to explain to you before, and not feel like I wasn't explaining very successfully, is that with the coneflower, and some of you actually bought the coneflower class that goes with Stampin' Into Summer, so you will learn even more about it. But when you stamp it, you can die cut it with this, and that is a perfect die cut. And then you just cut the top. I'm going to show you a card with that. Or if you use the die cut, it's a little bit different shape. Or you could stamp and die cut on top of it. So just wanted to kind of clarify that. I felt like I wasn't very clear. All right, here's one other card that I made. It might look familiar to you. See if anyone knows where have you seen this, is what I was trying to say. So on this one, I did want to do some pure stamping. So I stamped, just stamped the stem, and I stamped it in pecan pie, and then just colored it in a little bit. Under here, you can see I stamped it and then just added a little bit of color just to the edges in case the edges were to show. This I did pop up on a dimensional, and then I stamped the butterfly in black and colored it out and die cut that. Isn't that pretty? Did I do anything inside? Yeah, the butterfly. So isn't that fun? I just think it's a really fun card. And then these are our new hexagon gems. You see those?
Mary Jo thinks she may have seen this in the catalog.
Oh, wow, Mary Jo, very good. Wow, do you take that to bed at night and that's your reading material? Because I sometimes do that. Correct. So here's something I often do. I will take something that Stampin' Up! Has made and actually make it a little simpler. So if you see here, they have I don't know if you can see it, but they have another layer. They have a 3D embossed layer underneath it. And then they cut out the words. So a couple of layers, I thought, well, I'm not going to do all that. But yes, that is where it's from. And I think it's good. I think it's pretty. That's it. I mean, they pay people to make this, so copy it. All right. Well, I will have some more coneflower to show you. I'm not certain on that. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you on Monday. I'm not going to commit to that. Some of you will see in just a little bit at the
Stampin' into Summer.
Stampin' into Summer. But otherwise, I hope you enjoy that. That's really fun. The other thing is, Dave didn't mention, but there is the 50% off sale.
Yes, I did.
So this is not part of it because this is not part of a suite. But anything that's part of a suite, you can get at half off for the month of June. All right, friends, I hope to see you later. But if not, I will see you on Monday. So have a great weekend. I think it's going to be a beautiful weekend. And until then, happy stamping.